Hello guys, welcome to another video. Today I would like to discuss about data warehousing in Databricks. Like there are some features which Databricks is providing us with which we can write some SQL queries and we can view the SQL queries, what we have triggered. We can schedule the queries on our delta tables. Like we can, it supports any kind of DDL, DML, any kind of statements inside which, like, it literally the query which we create is nothing but we can relate it with the traditional database stored procedure. Like it works literally like a stored procedure, and it has many more advantages as well compared to stored procedure, where you can view how the query has been executed underneath. You can view all the statistics about query, and you can create dashboards out of that, and you have very good options like filtering and all for debugging the output. And we can create the computes and execute it. There are three types of computes. We'll see everything here. Okay, so let's go to Databricks, and here if you go to SQL Editor, you can just write down the SQL. You can just click on the create new query, write down the SQL statement whatever you want. Like similarly, like how we create a stored procedure. In stored procedure we have multiple SQL statements, right? So similarly you can write down all the SQL statements. For time being, I have just two statements. One is creating the table and another is reading from a table called Spotify songs, which I already have, and I'm just running it now. If you see, I'm using serverless compute here, and this is the data I have. And I'm creating a simple table, another delta table, and I'm just inserting the output just by grouping on based on month. I'm just counting the number of albums released and I'm writing. It's just a simple statement, and I have given the select statement here. I'll tell you why I have given the select statement at the end. Okay, I'll explain that. So like this is a simple query, no much complexity in this. I mean, the intention of this video is to show you all these topics, how we can use each and everything. Okay, so this is how we create the queries and we save it. Queries you can relate it to stored procedures in RDBMS storages. That's it. And if you come here under queries, you can view all the queries whatever you have. If you can create a queries and it navigates to the previous page. See, it navigated to the previous page. So like that, you can create a query. That's it. And if you come to dashboards, based on the queries we can create some dashboards as well, so you can view all those dashboards here. That's it. And alerts, I'll tell you, when you come to query history, you can see what and all queries you have executed, and you can view the statistics and everything. I'll come and show you clearly what is what. And when you click on SQL warehouse, this is where we create the warehouses, are nothing but the computes which we use in the SQL editor to run those. See, this is where we point them. That's it. By default, when you create in Databricks workflow, it creates one serverless compute for you, but I'll show you how to create a compute again. Just click on this, create new, create SQL warehouse. That's it. It navigates you to this page, which I can go by editing the existing one, name of it, and select the instance type you want. Then when you want to terminate, minimum, maximum, or class, and you have three options here: serverless, pro, and classic. I'll show you what is the difference between three. If you see, serverless supports, like, the major differences is in terms of how the queries are underneath handled, the optimization techniques which are underneath taken care by Databricks. If you want, I have already made the video on Databricks optimization techniques which Databricks applies on our queries which we execute. You can view that video. I'll just cover on high level here. So the serverless supports Photon as well as predictive IO and intelligence workload management. Like, it supports everything. So for production workloads, people use serverless, and the pro is which, where we don't have intelligent workload management. What is intelligent workload management? What is predictive IO? What is Photon? You can view in my another video where I have explained each and every optimization techniques which Databricks applies underneath. And the last one is classic. It supports only Photon. It does not support predictive IO and intelligent workload management as an optimization technique. These are the differences, but ideally people use serverless, so I've used that, and you can just click on save. That's it. So this is how we create the compute. We are good. and I have told you how to create a SQL query. Just click on new and write the logic whatever you want. That's it. And click on save. The query gets saved, and you can schedule this query whenever you want. Just add schedule, run every 1 2 hour, minute, day, week, month, everything. You can even use the cron expression as well if you are good with crons. So that's it, and click on create, and the schedule gets created. It automatically triggers and it automatically spins up the cluster because it's a serverless cluster. It can just spin up in fraction of seconds. That's it. And you can even share with anyone as well. How we share the notebook, similarly we can even share the queries as well. That's it. That's so simple. But the highlight part is for debugging. It has a very good feature called filtering. When you click on this filter, what are the column you want to filter the data on? If you see, I want to filter the data on artist. It supports 3 types of filters. Let me show you one by one. First I select single filter, so it takes only one value, and when I click on save, see the column name is artist. So what is where do I have this column? So I'll just write Eminem. Okay, when I type it gives the drop down list, and it filtered all the albums. Like, it has literally filtered. We don't need to write again where condition and all. We can just filter out from here. And again, when you click on this icon and click on multi select, you can select multiple options from the drop down list. So here I'll select Eminem and I'll select another one. So these two. So I've selected two. So the data got filtered accordingly. Like, it's very quick and easy to filter out and easy to debug the output. That's the major advantage. And again, when you click on this icon, you can use text input so that you can write it. So it supports a few modes. Like, for suppose if you use ABC and ABC contains, or you want to do exact matching, or you want to do start with, it supports these things, these 3 things. And you can enforce the case sensitivity as well. And when I use Eminem has come. See, Emila has come. Like this. Here we have Emi. Like that. So this is how we can easily filter the data, which I believe is very good option for debugging. And the next thing is visualization. It's quite common. We can create charts based on the output. The different kind of charts, whatever we want, we can view, which is common in Databricks. The next option which we have is parameters. So when I just uncomment this, and when I just write 2 curly braces, I got an input text here. If you see, I'll just name it as name. See, I got the name, and whatever the value I write here, that comes up in another column. I gave Praveen. So as F name I gave. So when I execute this, so once I give the value here, Praveen, I need to click on apply changes here so that the changes gets applied and gets executed. If you see, it has created the value. So this is how you can dynamically pass parameters. Like, if you take the stored procedure, we can pass some parameters to the stored procedure, right? So that can be done here just with 2 curly braces. That's it. So this is one of the better option. And if you remove this thing gets this thing will be gone when you remove this. So I'm just removing this. It is gone. That's it. So that is another option which we have called parameters. So we have seen filter and parameters as well. So we can even create parameters from the UI as well. You click on parameter, and when you give on the keyword name, what we have seen is text field. We can even give number, date ranges and everything. So let me do one drop down list, and 1 2 3 4 5. These 3 comes up in as a drop down list, and we can select whatever we want. So I just added this parameter. See, I'll just uncomment this. Comma, right? So when I select 2 here, 3 here, and click on apply changes, in place of name, I should get the 3 value. So when I execute this, I should get 3 in place of F name. See, I got it. So we have seen with text, we have seen with drop down. Similarly, we can use date and everything, which is very easy. If you use date time and everything, that's it. And okay, If you see, you can select the date you want, and when you click on apply changes, it goes here. That's it. So it's very easy. So you can do whatever you want. So this is how we can create parameters. There are multiple options like text, name, drop down list, date, date ranges and everything, which you can explore, which is very easy. That's it. So when you go to query history, you can see all the queries which you have executed, which are failed. Every detail can be find out here. So when you click on this particular query, any query which you have executed, when you click on this, it gives you every statistic information, like how much of read it has done, how much of IO it has taken, like for photon related information it gives. See, it gives how much of compute it has executed in how many milliseconds. So what kind of optimizations it has applied, and what is the Databricks version. Every detail can be find out here. And also you can view the query profile as well. You can't view the query profile if that specific query is cached. I mean to say, if the data set is cached, and when you run the select statement or something from the cached data set, you can't view the profile. So you can view the profile only for the non-cached data alone. Let me find out one query which is non-cached. See here. So I have clicked on this, and this is non-cached. I guess I ran it for the first time. If you see, it has clearly given every information on how underneath it has executed. Clearly in the graph, the scan, the shuffle it has applied, the aggregation operation it has done. So every detailed information is given here. All this kind of information we can get it. We can even get it in the tree view as well, one by one. This is the first operation, the second operation, the third is aggregation operation, which we are doing in the code. Then while doing the aggregation, it does the shuffling, however, so that thing, and it applies the limit operation when it gives the output, so that thing. So this is what we can find out from the query history page. Every detail on how the query has been executed, what are the statistics, what are the optimizations it has applied, and how long it has taken for each and every scan. And you can get the query profile for the non-cached data as well. That's one thing. So we have seen how to create warehouse, we have seen query history, we have seen queries, how to create queries, and we have seen SQL editor. The second, I mean, the normal thing is how to create the dashboards. Like, it's just straightforward in every Databricks. We have to just click on dashboard we want to select, and we have to go to visualization, select how big you want in this page, and select the type of the visualization, and the x-axis, y-axis, and if you want to do any group by, and if you want to view the label information, all those, which is very common. We can do that as well, which is very common Databricks feature, so I'm not going into it. So the final thing is alert. Using alert, we can create an alert on our query which we have created. Based on the output of that query, we can generate some kind of alert. For suppose if so and so column got a null, you can generate an alert. It gives us an email. For suppose if some column has exceeded so and so amount. For example, let's take an example in the banking domain. We have some transactional information. If the transaction based on user has crossed so and so, you want to get an alert. So accordingly, you can create an alert. Let me show you. So you just go create alert, give the alert name, test alert, and select the query. We have only one here, query one. So I've selected that. And based on the final SQL statement, the columns gets populated here. If I go to my SQL, if I go to my queries, and if I open this is the final select. And this particular table has only two columns, the month and albums released. So that's what is being populated, months and number of songs. I guess I have number of songs. I mean, the alias name for this is number of songs. So those two columns get, if you have some other select statement at the end, those kind of columns gets populated here. Based on the final select statement, you can create the alert. So here, if you see, I want to go to this column, and I just want to do like if count of those records goes so and so, I can generate alert. Count of distinct records goes so and so, number, you can generate the alert. So let me check the sum of number of songs is greater than 100, I'll generate the alert. Okay, greater than 100, then I want to generate it. It's suppose greater than equal to, if it is null, so and so column is null, then it generates the alert. Like multiple things. I'm just showing you one. So how do you want? Each time it is evaluated you want, or only once? So I just selected only once because it costs, and I want to send the notification. Yes. If you see here, I can use the default template or custom template. We get an email, so you can give the body and subject according to you, or right now I'll go with the default template. So I'll just create the alert here. That's it. Now once the alert is created, you need to schedule that alert. So I've selected minute here just to show you. I'm selecting the schedule as every minute, and destination. This is my personal account. I don't have any user, so I have nothing populated. I'll add me as the destination. Okay, just create it now, and you can add yourself as a destination from here. Add myself to the destination. So my email ID gets populated here, and it runs. So I can just trigger it once, or else it triggers every minute once. So I'll just ask to trigger it once right now, just for the demo. And when, however, the value is greater than 100, so when you run this, however, the output will be greater than 1, so I should get an email. So this is my old email. So if you see, I got an email very quickly, immediately. So that's how we get alerts. That's how we create alerts. That's it. So this is how you can create alert, and this is how you can create queries in SQL warehouse, and this is how you can create the SQL warehouses as well. And SQL editor is not only just for kind of stored procedure. You can query any of your data. You can query any of your table in the delta tables. You can just select the catalog and the schema name, so that every time you don't have to mention here. You can just mention the table name if you select the specific catalog and schema name. That's it. So that is how we create queries, we debug queries, we create alerts in queries, and that's how we create the computes as well. It's a serverless compute I've selected. You can schedule these queries not only from here directly, you can even use this in the workflow, so that you can clearly build the ETL pipeline. So when I click on create here, while selecting the task name, I'll just select it. I'll not test it because I don't have that compute resource available. Instead of notebook, I'll select the SQL here, so that it will ask me to select the query. You want to query, or you want alert, whatever you want, some dashboard, you can select anything. I'll just go with the query, and we have only one query, so we have only one. By any chance, if we have some parameters, let me show you. If I'll have some parameters in my table, let me add some parameters here. So I'll add some parameters here. I'm adding some parameter here. That's it. So when I save this, here we can give that particular value, whatever we want. Here we can give some particular value. Testy I have given. So when I click on apply changes, it runs. So sorry, I forgot to give the name here. I'll give it as dummy. So it comes here. I'll just give q, and when I click on apply changes, it failed. As I have selected the text type here, I don't need to give single quotes here. So when I click on run all, I guess it should work now without any error. I'll get the whatever the text value I have given here in my select statement as well. So that's it. So in my final target, I have these as well. So here if you see, I'm creating a parameter here, right? So when I go to new job, and when I refresh this page, and when I try to select the query again, we can even pass the parameters from the workflow as well. I'll just click on some name. here. Instead of notebook, I'll go with select, and I want query here. I'll select the query one, and if you see the parameters, the selected SQL query does not have parameters. This is weird. It has parameters, but we did not save this. That's why we did not save this. That's why it is showing that. Now it is saved, and now if we come here, I'll just select alert and select the query, and when I click on the query, select warehouse, see the default value which we entered came, and whatever the value we give. So this is how we can even pass the parameters from the workflow as well, and this is how we can use your SQL queries from the workflow as well. So I mean, if you see here, not only the query, you have the option to even select the alert as well. For suppose you ran some query here, okay, let's build some dummy pipeline. You ran some thing here, and you created this task, and for suppose if it has failed, so I'll go with if else condition here. I'll give some test to name, if else condition, I'll give something. So if this so and so condition is not met, I want to create an alert. So that kind of cases we go with alert as well. So I can create another alert. Now I'll go with alert here. So I can give some another name, and here I selected the alert, and we can select the alert name. Right now I have deleted the alert, so we can't see. So that's how we can use these SQL query in workflow as well. You can literally build the ETL pipeline, very complex ETL pipeline as well. So what we have done here, we selected one query and one if condition, and the alert based on the true or false. Like if you want to know more about workflow, you can view my video on workflow. I've already made a video on Databricks workflow where I have explained each and every task very clearly, each and every type and task. So you can view that. How to use if condition, how to use Spark Submit, how to use Python script, how to use notebook and everything. That's it. So this is how we create queries and debug queries and create alerts and everything. That's it. Thank you guys. Thank you so much for watching.